What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. So today we're talking about how your kids don't owe you anything. Now, it's a little bit of clickbait in there with the don't owe you anything, because they do owe you something, uh, but it's minimal. It's minimal. So when we talk about having kids, obviously that's for 99% of people a choice. It's a choice to have kids because you have to lay down with someone in order to procreate and the natural way in order to do it. So when it comes to having kids, the child, the unborn child has no say on whether or not, they're coming here. So when it comes to what they owe you, as a child's growing up, I've heard, some people say and some parents say and their parents say that, they feel like their kids owe them for what they've done to raise them. At the end of the day, your kids don't owe you anything but the same love and respect that you give them. Love, respect, and honor. And that's how I was raised. And as I got older, and I figured it out for myself, it made a lot of sense. You're legally obligated, legally and ethically obligated, to take care of that child until they, are able to take care of themselves, until they grow into adulthood. You made the decision to bring them into this world. You made the decision to do that without any consent from them because they can't give you consent. So it's your duty to put that child or children in the best position to succeed. Not just in the position to be able to, okay, I can feed myself, I can buy a Happy Meal at McDonald's, I'll survive. Nah, bump all that. If you're gonna bring me into this world, put the effort in to give me a good life. That doesn't mean that as I grow older and I become an adult, doesn't mean I'm not going to work hard. But I should be in the position, by the time I hit 18 to be able to launch into adulthood, not struggle. Now, obviously, there are things that happen that are outside of our control that, make that easier said than done. But at the end of the day, that should be a parent's resolve. And if that's not something that they're looking to do, well, guess what? You shouldn't be the one having kids. And unfortunately, we have so many people having kids nowadays that don't even know how to handle themselves. They're still growing up. They're still children. And age ain't got nothing to do with it. We got people who are 35, 40 years old having kids and they still mentally handicapped. They still haven't grown up. And a lot of that is, just goes back into the cycle of trauma or cycle of immaturity or just cycles of dysfunction that are prevalent within their families and within our society. And unfortunately, we got all these permits to buy firearms. You need a permission to drive, permission to leave the country. You need all these permits, but the one thing you don't need a permit for, making another life. Ain't that crazy? Now, obviously, there isn't really a way to enforce that, at least not with modern technology, but isn't it crazy how something so influential as bringing another person into this world is something that anybody can just do just like that? Like anybody. If you're past 12, 13, 14, your body is capable of procreating, you can procreate just like that. And it ain't just one time. You can do it again and again and again and again. You can come from the most toxic, dysfunctional family in the world. You could be homeless, living on the street, sleeping with the rats, and you can still procreate. It's a very scary thing. It's a very scary thing. So again, kids don't owe their parents anything but love, respect, the same thing that they're hopefully getting from their parents. It's the parents' duty to the child that they single-handedly, well, with the other person, but they made the decision to bring into this world. It's their duty to set that child up for success to the best of their ability. So I don't want to hear any parents, even though they're going to say it anyway, I don't want to hear any parents saying, well, my child is a lawyer and a doctor and they make all this money, but they don't even be, giving me none of it. I don't want to hear that. It's their money. Oh, they got this big mansion, they bought this big house, they ain't buy me no house. Like I'm still here in my apartment. Okay, are you a lawyer? Are you a doctor? Like, you should be happy for your child. You should be happy for your child. You should be proud. But they don't owe you their success. Like they should be grateful for you putting them in a position to achieve that, but they achieved it. You didn't. You didn't. And you need to remember that and you need to respect that. If you did a good job being a parent, then your children are going to want to give back to you. Just like I want to give back. You know what I mean? Like my mom. because I feel like she did, a great job. And she's put me in a position to do a lot of things I do now and help people, all across the country when it comes to my counseling and coaching. Like, that's something that I built. But if it wasn't for her assistance and the things she's taught me and put me in a position where she supported me over the years, I wouldn't have been in a position to do that. So let's, as parents, have a healthy respect for our children and their accomplishments and their individuality as they're growing up. And on the kids side, let's make sure that we're, of course, returning that same energy and respecting and honoring our parents.